Hey guys, Juice here. I am here to film a new video for you guys today. If you can't tell, I have lights on my bookshelf. They aren't quite finished yet, so if they blinking super obnoxiously, however you say that word, let me know down in the comments and I'll change the setting next time I film. Anyways, I'm actually just gonna change it now. Let's see. Ready? How's that? That's look nicer. Anyways, enough with the Christmas lights. Hello, my name's Drew. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. And today I'll be talking about all the unread books I have from Book of the Month. Today's video will be that. Tomorrow's video will be all the 2020 new releases that I bought but didn't got to in the month of 2020 or in the year of 2020. So a couple new videos are coming to you guys very soon. Look forward to that. And without further ado, this is a long video. This is going to be a long video, so hang in there, grab a snack, grab a drink, do whatever you need to do, and come talk about books with me. Starting off, and these are in no particular order as well, so the first book I have unread from Book of the Month is The Guest List by Lucy Foyle. This one I've been mentioning a lot on my channel recently just because October and November I was going to read a lot of thrillers. That didn't happen. So this is one of the thrillers I wanted to read this month or this year in general, and I just never got a chance to get around to it. So hopefully sometimes in 2021 I could get around to it. So we'll see about that. This is definitely one of the newer releases that I was really excited for as well. I did started this. I got 45 pages in before I put it down for whatever the reason was, but I will pick this one back up because I think me and my friend Taylor are planning on buddy reading this sometimes in the New Year's. So that's the first book on this list. Next book on this list is Ties That Tether by Jane Igrow. This is a adult contemporary novel set during fall. I really don't know much about this. I just knew that I had an e-arc of this from NetGalley, and I was really excited to read the arc, and then I never got around to the arc, so when I saw that Book of the Month had this on their website, I immediately got it, and it's by a person of color, so I've been trying to diverse my reads recently, so this is hopefully one of the new person of color books that I would love, hopefully. I'm gonna move my AirPods. The next book is another mystery thriller, and that is The Night Swim by Megan Golding. This one I'm very excited for as well. This one came out in August, and I think August I only got like one book because none of the other books was really interesting except this one. The Night Swim has a podcast element, so I was also intrigued by that. This deals with a huge a true crime podcast host covering a controversial trials finds herself drawn deep into a small town dark past and a brutal crime that took place 3 years before. So I think there was a crime scene, like it just said, 3 years before the book starts, probably. I read a lot of great reviews for this, and a lot of mystery thriller people that I follow really love this. They've been giving it 5-star reads, so I'm really excited to see what I would think of this one, and hopefully I could get around to this sometimes in the New Year's. There we go. The next book I have is Havenfall by Sarah Holland. This is one of my young adult titles. As you can tell, the first 3 books have been adult novels. This is one of my young adult novels that I have. This sounds really good. It's giving me some Frozen vibes, but fantasy style. I mean, Frozen is a fantasy movie, but still, you know what I mean. It says a safe haven between 4 realms and the girl sworn to protect it at any cost. Hidden deep in the mountains of Colorado lies the inn at Havenfall, a sanctuary that connects ancient worlds, each with its own magic. For generations, the inn has protected all who seeks refuge within its wall, and any who disrupt the peace can never return. This sounds really amazing. I picked it up because I wanted to read Sarah Holland's other books by other book series that she has, which is the Evermore series. I never got around to that series, but this one intrigues me more than that one. So I did got this, and I was also supposed to buddy read this book with someone earlier this year, and I just totally forgot who it was, and I totally forgot when we were reading it. So sorry if you know who it was. Please let me know. But yeah, this is one of the few and only young adult titles I have, so I'm real excited to hopefully get to this sometimes next year. I'm probably going to put Book of the Month on hold next year just because, as you can see, I already have like 4 amazing titles to pick from, and then all of these. So the next book I have is The Two Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver. This is the new book by Josie Silver. I know she's quite famous for her debut novel, I believe, and that was One Day in December, which came out last year in December, obviously. I wanted to read that one super badly as well, but I didn't know where to get my copy from until I saw that it was on the Book of the Month website. So I was like, oh, I'll try and get it in the month of December, and then I forgot to get it this month. So The Two Lives of Lydia Bird, if I can speak, it follows our main character Lydia Bird, obviously, and her husband Freddie. It says 2 lives, 2 loves, 1 possible choice. Lydia and Freddie, Freddie and Lydia, they've been together for more than a decade, and Lydia thought their love was indestructible, but she was wrong. On Lydia's 28th birthday, Freddie dies in a car accident. Like, that's just such a sad and like worst gift to give someone on their birthday. I hear mixed reviews about this one, and I know my friend Taylor, every time I had her pick a certain number on my bookshelf, she always seems to pick this one, and I just always be like, oh, can you pick another one, because I really don't want to read like a romance book this year for some odd reason. So I will be reading more romance novels in 2021 when I feel like it. Also, I just been hearing mixed reviews. Most of them have been negative reviews for this one, so that's another reason why I haven't picked this one up. But the premise of this one sounds really interesting, and I hope I will get to it sooner than later. The next book we have is actually one of my newest books that I bought, and I got this for the December pick. This one is actually out early, so if you want to get your copy, I'll leave the Book of the Month website down below in the description. And that is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. If you recognize Rachel Hawkins, she is the author of Royals by Rachel Hawkins, obviously. I have the copy of Royals, but you actually are sitting on it right now, and I don't want to pull it out and mess up my stand. But The Wife Upstairs is Rachel Hawkins' debut novel for adult thriller. So this is her first novel in the adult genre section. And as you guys know, I've been trying to get more into my thrillers this year, so I'm real excited for this. I will be doing a reading vlog for this and another arc that comes out on January 5th. This isn't our arc, obviously, because it's like a finished hardcover, but I love this cover. Blue is my favorite color ever. But yeah, another mystery thriller novel to add to my TBR. Then I have another YA title, and that is Ashlords by Scott Renington. I probably butchered that, I'm so sorry, but look at this cool cover. Ashlords, I was told if you love the Hunger Games, you would love this. Of course, there are horses involved. Champions are not born, they're made, and there's like 3 different like lands. I don't know how to pronounce these words on the back of this cover, but I'll just have you guys read the back of this in case you guys want to check this out. I did receive the e-arc of the sequel to this, so once I was able to, and I don't even remember requesting it, so maybe I requested it a while back, but I got the e-arc of the sequel, so if I wanted to, I can binge read this duology in January, because this has piqued my interest since my friend Sammy in the 25 and 10 group chat has recommended this to me, and she showed me how awesome this cover looks, and if I love the Hunger Games, that I would really love this, so I was kind of sold on that. This has a competition aspect in here too, so anything to do with like a game or like competition aspect, I would really love in a book. There's 11 riders will complete in this year's races, but 3 of them has more to lose than the rest, is what it says on here. That sounds really interesting. Also, this is his debut novel, I think, or he has other series out, and I just haven't heard about the Mr. Scott until now. So I'm real happy to have this in my collection, and hopefully I will read this next month. Because I think the sequel comes out in January or February, but I can't remember exactly. Next is another young adult title, and that is Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. This is by a person of color, and I'm really, like I said, I wanted to diverse my reads this year, but I haven't got around to this one yet. I actually have this on my TBR shelf since October of 2019, and I got this because my friend Heather, who I'll leave her Instagram down below, she read this book recently this year, and she recommended it to me, so I already had it on my shelf before she recommended this to me, but what she said to me about this book sounds really good. This is about Simone. She goes to this new high school, and she's the new girl in town and the new girl in school. And so obviously she's quite nervous for like a new school year, and she's also kind of upset because she had to leave her old house and her old town and all that, struggling to fit in, and she tested positive for HIV, and I don't know much about that system, but I will read this whenever I'm in the mood for a contemporary novel. Next book is another YA novel, and that is The Boy and the Girl Who Broke the World by Amy Reed. Yes, I got that title right. Last time I filmed this video, I got the title wrong, so that's why I said that. The Boy and the Girl Who Broke the World by Amy Reed. This sounded really amazing. It says, it's like Lydia, another character named Lydia, nice. It's like Lydia found some secret button that resets the world. Not just my world, but the whole world. It feels like the whole earth took a big inhale, and everything was frozen for a minute while it held its breath. And then when it exhaled, it's like it's messed up gravity and jumbled us all up with it. And even though I've never gotten anything but better than a C in science, I still understand the basic idea that sometimes when you add one thing to a different kind of thing, it can create a totally new thing that looks nothing like the things that made it. And that new things can start a chain of reaction that does all kinds of surprising stuff all over the place. And I think maybe Lydia and me are like that. Like our meeting has created some weird chemical reaction that's going to turn everything wonderful, except instead of chemical, it's magic or something. And when you think about it, magic is just science no one's figured out yet. I remember Lala from Books and Lala read a lot of books by Amy Reed. I believe she has a couple other books out. Yeah, she has a lot of books out, and I know she read a couple of these ones. And once I heard her talk about this last year, I got this in July of last year. So I remember buying this when I was on my summer vacation last year, when we were able to travel and all that. So that has a great fond memory with it. But yeah, I still haven't read this one yet. Next is another YA title, and that is Systems of a Heartbreak by Sonia Poitier. I probably butchered that. I'm so sorry. This is a YA contemporary novel again, and it says, it turns out heartbreak is the one thing she doesn't know how to treat. Fresh from med school, 16-year-old Sarah starts her first day at work treating children and teens with cancer. So this is going to be a hard-hitting YA contemporary novel, definitely for me in general, because I do have a couple family members that passed away from cancer. So it's kind of hard to read about something that you experience. Not you personally, but like, you know, someone that you know experienced. So I might save this in case I'm in a good headspace to read this. But I checked this out because I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this last year, and this was from July of 2019 as well. And then the next book that I have for Book of the Month is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. This is a beautiful cover. I love this cover so much. I started reading this last year. I got this in the month of September of last year, and I started reading it as soon as I got it because there was a lot of great buzz for it, but I literally stopped on page 120. I DNF'd it last year because I just wasn't getting into it. It sounded amazing. It sounded like Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. I heard if you love that series, you would definitely love this standalone novel. It is a standalone novel, fantasy / historical fiction. The one thing I think that bugged me the most is, if I can find a page, I don't know if this whole book, I don't think so. In the beginning, oh yeah, here's what I mean. So like this whole book has footnotes throughout it. I don't know if you guys can see that at the bottom right there. I don't like it when books really have footnotes in them. Maybe that's why I never got into Nevernight this year, because that book also has footnotes. But like footnotes, I just don't read, and if I have to read them, it would get me distracted from the story. So this is one that I DNF, so maybe I'll come back to it whenever I'm ready, but who knows. I'm just not interested in this one at the moment, but it's such a pretty cover that I don't want to unhaul it. The next couple of books, I'm going to move the stack closer to me so I can get them easier instead of reaching for them. So the next book is one that I also DNF'd, and that was The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. This is the first book in a new series by Renee Ahdieh. I have The Wrath and Dawn up here on my red shelf, and I also have The Rose and the Dagger right over here. I love the Wrath and Dawn duology by her, but I tried reading this via audiobook, and then by reading it, I mean reading it and following along via audiobook. But I just couldn't get into the narrator. The narrator had a weird accent to it, so I might try and physically read this, but I DNF'd this at page 125 last year when I read this. This was one of the October 2019 picks, so I got this because it was one of the YA titles. I'm not sure what's happening with the YA title for Book of the Month anymore, but if they aren't doing them anymore, I might just cancel my subscription. I hate to be negative like that, but I mainly got Book of the Month last year and this year just because of the YA titles. Because a lot of the YA titles, like, I have a new release right here. This book, which I talked about on my channel already, is These Vengeful Hearts. This was $18.99. So like a new release, like this small tiny book, is $18.99. When I got this one for free with one of my monthly credits. So yeah, this is about vampires, or at least we were told it was about vampires, and people have been saying it's not. But the sequel, The Dam, came out this year, so maybe I'll pick up this one sometime next year and then hopefully pick up the sequel. We'll see. I just wasn't in the mood for a vampire gothic story at the time. The next book is another another adult mystery title, and that is The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. Now, I only got this book because I was supposed to buddy read this with one of my friends on Instagram. She and I was going to buddy read this, and then she got really sick a couple months ago, so she didn't want to read anything while she was sick. I was like, that's fine, recover, try and drink a lot of water, eat some good stuff. So we were gonna buddy read this in like October or November, I think, just because of like that spooky season, but then she got sick, so we put this on hold, and I am just kind of sad that we never got to it this year. But this is definitely one of my backlist titles that I will be adding to my 21 backlist title list, which that's another video I have coming for you guys. But I know The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn has been getting a lot of controversial arguments and stuff. I know nothing about this one, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I know there's a movie for this one, at least I think there's a movie for this, but this is one of my older titles. This one was a January 2018 pick, so, and I got this very recently. Next book I have here is an YA title. My legs is kind of falling asleep, so that's why I'm moving a lot. The next YA title I have is Reverie by Ryan LaSalle. This is a book I actually started this year, and I just didn't DNF it because I wasn't enjoying it. I was actually really enjoying this one. This one follows our main character named Kane Montgomery, and it says all Kane Montgomery knows for certain is that the police found him half dead in the river. If that line don't sell you on this book, I don't know what will. Also, Ryan LaSalle, sorry, I'm speaking way too fast for me to say that very fast, is part of the LGBT community, so there are LGBT characters in here. I think this is written from second point of view as well, if I'm mistaken, so maybe that threw me off. But I did started this book this year because it was one of the big library read on Overdrive. I don't know if you guys have Overdrive or not, but it was one of the like big library read, and so I was able to listen to the audiobook for a little bit, but then of course that month was over, and so they moved on to another pick, and so I sadly couldn't finish this in the month of November, but I will be finishing this up in December hopefully, because I've already read all of these books in the month of December and I really enjoyed all those. So hopefully this will be my December wrap up, and I can't wait to see how I feel about this ending. Also, Ryan LaSalle, he has a new book called Bedazzle out next year, so I'm really excited to read that one as well. Next is a book that my friend Mandy, who hosts the 25 and 10 readathon that I'm always a part of, and she recommended me this mystery thriller novel, and I asked for more recs recently because like I wanted to explore more in that genre, and so she recommended me Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker. From what I know about this synopsis, I don't need to look at the synopsis for this one because this is about Emma. Emma and her sister, I forgot what her sister name is, but Emma and her sister goes missing one night on this like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna have to totally look at the synopsis. It says, one night 15-year-old Cass and her 17-year-old sister Emma disappear. The family car is found deserted at a nearby beach, but the authorities are baffled by what could have become of them. 3 years later, with just the clothes on her back and no evidence or credibility to back up her claims of what happened, Cass returns home without her sister. Her tale is one of the kidnapping and isolation at the mysterious island where the two was held. That's all I'm going to read for that synopsis, because I don't really want to read like the whole synopsis to you guys, because like Lala said, she likes to go into her books very blindly, and I do too. But like, I know Emma from Emma Books. Funny that the character name is Emma. But Emma from Emma Books recently read this, and she said she gave this like a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I really think that's a good rating. So I picked this up from Book of the Month. This is a September 2017 pick. Next is a YA title about dragons, and that is Fireborn by Rosa Madane. I probably butchered that title or that author's name. I'm so sorry. Fireborn actually got a new cover, so I'll leave the link to the new cover down below. This sounds really amazing. I just got the audiobook for this one through Audible with one of my Audible credits. It says Annie and Lee were just children when a brutal revolution changed the world, giving everyone, even the lowborn, a chance to test into the governing class of dragon riders. Now they are both rising stars in the new reimaged, I don't know what that word is, despite backgrounds that couldn't be more different. Annie's lowborn family was executed by dragonfire, while Lee's Astrodic family was murdered by revolutionaries. Sounds really amazing, and I know the sequel just got announced as well, so I don't know if the sequel is coming out next year or in 2022, but we'll see when the sequel comes out. But I am really excited to read this. I just got the audiobook, like I said, so this is definitely either my next read. If not, then definitely a book on my January TBR, which is crazy that it's like already 2021 almost. The next young adult title pick I have is Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. This one have been getting some mixed reviews as well. I was actually supposed to buddy read this with my friend Libby back in August, I think, and I just couldn't get into it. I literally am still at the very beginning of this book, and these are like our page breakdown that we were going to do. I'm not sure if Libby finished this book yet, but I know there's been mixed reviews about this. The person I first heard about this book from was Chloe over at Books with Chloe, who I haven't watched her channel in a while, so I definitely will go back and watch all her videos. But Chloe from Books with Chloe loved this one, I think, and I am really excited. I trust her reviews a lot, so maybe I will try and pick this one back up sometime soon. But yeah, I am really excited to get to this. Also, the sequel to this one came out this year in 2020, so now that the sequel's out, maybe I can try and get around to reading the first one and then hoping to pick up the sequel. Next is another adult thriller title, and that is The Whisper Man by Alex North. If you guys know, I've already talked about what this one is. I hauled this in my August book haul, which I'll leave up above or down below in the description. I'm real excited for this. I've been excited for this ever since I heard about this book. This is an August 2019 pick. And I already talked about what this book is on my channel, so this is one of my next mystery thriller books I would like to read. Another young adult title book I have is Hello Girls by Brittany Cavalleo and Emily Henry. I read a book by Brittany Cavalleo last year. It was the A Study in Charlotte series by her, and I love that series, so I'm real excited to read this and see what this one has in store for me. I was gonna buddy read this with Heather sometime last year, and then we both just weren't interested in it. But now that we both have it on a shelf and we keep staring at it, we might read it in 2021. So I'll have to make a list of buddy reads for us, Heather, if you're watching this. But yeah, I'm real excited to hopefully get to this sometime soon. And this was a August 2019 pick. And then I have 4 books left to talk about. And next is This Time Will Be Different by Misa Segura. This is a book, a YA contemporary novel set in a flower shop, and follows our 17-year-old CJ, and she just works in her family flower shop to help out her family members who can't really work as much as she can, so she just helps out in the flower shop. I'm sure she finds a girlfriend or boyfriend to fall in love with. This is actually one of my very, very first book of the month picks that I ever got. This was a June 2019 pick. I started this company back in 2019 of June, like I just said, and this was the very first book I got, and I still haven't read it yet. I feel super bad, but hopefully I can get to this during the spring or summertime of next year. Next I have is When We Were Vikings by Andrew David McDonald. It says be a legendary, and there's like so many different rules in this story for this. It's like a Viking story, obviously, and it says a heart-swelling debut for fans of the Silver Lining Playbook and The Curious Incident and The Dog in the Nighttime. The only movie/book I've heard of was The Silver Lining Playbook, because that had Jennifer Lawrence in it, so we love that. I saw this, I think Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads was talking about this when she was doing her most anticipated reads, and when she talked about it, it sounded interesting to me, so I picked this up for Book of the Month. And also, I just love blue. As I said, blue is one of my favorite colors ever, so yeah, this is one of my unread Book of the Month picks. And then the second and last book I have was actually a DNF of this year. This is a September 2020 pick, and that is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Frederick Bachman is well known for his Beartown series. Beartown, My Grandma Tells You I'm Sorry, or whatever that long title is, and Every Morning the Long Way Home, or whatever his titles are. I don't remember exactly each of his titles. I just know Beartown is very popular by him, and this is also very popular right now. I tried to buddy read Anxious People with my friend Lori. This one we both DNF'd it. We loved the short chapters. We loved what was happening. But there was just something about this book and us reading it at a certain time that we didn't really like. I don't know. It's weird to explain it. It's just like Lori and I will leave a comment down below and let you guys know how we felt. I DNF'd it at 50 pages. I'm not sure if that's where Lori DNF'd it at, but I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time, so I'll probably pick this up sometimes next year. And then the next book I am super excited for. This was my November pick for 2020, and this is a YA debut novel, a fantasy novel as well, and that is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I know Fairy Loot just released their amazing cover. I can't wait to see. I don't get them, but I can't wait to see their unboxing of that month. But like all of this part of the cover is different, and I believe that papers are pink, if I'm not mistaken. But like their Fairy Loot edition, it was really pretty, so I'm kind of jealous of all those who gets Fairy Loot. But I do have my copy early from Book of the Month. This didn't came out until like mid-November, and I got it super early, and I still haven't read it yet. But this is on my December TBR. I am planning on buddy reading this with my friend Lori. But yeah, I'm hoping to get to this month, because this is like a fantasy novel that I feel like will be perfect for the winter time. But yeah, this is a fantasy debut YA novel set in 1926 Shanghai, and it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. There you go. That's the summary. That's all I would say about this one. It sounds really amazing, and hopefully I could get to it in the month of December and talk about it in my December wrap-up. There you have it. Those are all the Book of the Month picks that I have. These are all my unread Book of the Month picks that I have. And yes, I've been sitting on my pillow because I don't like sitting on the ground. But these are all the books I have unread from Book of the Month. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, turn your notification on so you don't miss any new videos from me coming soon. I promise, guys, you do not want to miss the whole month of December. I took a little break in the beginning because I edited that long Thanksgiving vlog. I swear my videos will be shorter. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you read any of these books, let me know which one of these I should read next, because I really want to read a Book of the Month pick for December because I haven't read one yet. So let me know what I should read first in this pile of books. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later, and that's it. Bye.